OpenAI surprise releases Operator. Operator is OpenAI's answer to a lot of these AI agents capable of surfing the internet, doing various stuff online, reserving tables, buying tickets, ordering groceries, whatever. There's a new model for it. There's a system card for it. There's benchmarks. But forget all that stuff. We're going to test this thing first. We're doing it live. Well, I mean, not quite live. I literally did try to do it live, but 3-4 hours later, I still didn't have access to it. So thank you everyone that joined me on the live stream. I'm sorry it didn't happen live, but this is the next best thing. It's live at the time of me recording this. Let's get into it. So I haven't tested this thing at all. We're starting from scratch. Let's get to it. They warn you operators can make a mistake. Also, the screenshots of that remote browser that it uses, it does get saved, so it's not 100% private, obviously. All right, let's do something really simple. Let's start with it just getting some news. Let's get the latest AI news. So it opens up the browser. It's trying Forbes, encounters a little pop-up. It's returning to news. So as you can see, it has kind of its own independent browser that it uses. It's not actually running it on your device. It's kind of in the cloud.
Virtual machine, hosted remotely. Talk much?
It's got 3 tabs open and it's going, so far it looks like it went to Forbes, it went to Reuters, encountered a pop-up, could not get around it. You gotta give it a break. We're not quite at AGI yet if it can't get around the pop-up, but you can also get notifications when the thing is completed. You can be running multiple things at the same time. So it looks like it found one article and briefly summarized it and gave me a link. So it's so far okay, but not great. Let's try something different. What are the top posts on Reddit Singularity, or the Singularity subreddit, rather? All right, top posts on the subreddit Singularity. That covers a lot of the sort of latest AI news. So opens up the browser, and it's pretty cool seeing it kind of use its little mouse pad. It's using its little mouse cursor to navigate to where it needs to go. You have been blocked by network security. And by the way, you're probably going to be seeing this a lot based on some of the posts on Twitter. People are running into this issue where you are getting various messages, again, because it's the browser that it's using, it's triggering a lot of these sort of automated traffic of things. So I clicked on take control, so you can take control at any given time. Operator won't take screenshots while you are in control, which is great. So you can log into various accounts. Operator saves your site data and keeps you logged in across sessions. So you can pick up where you left off and you can manage the data and settings. So this is great. So if you're logged into Reddit, it's going to be logged in across sessions. So it's not like it just wipes all that information. All right, so I am logged in. Just between you and me, it's not my main account. So what did I do while I had control? Logged into Reddit. All right, so now it continues. Let's see where this goes. Okay, so now we're logged in. It's able to navigate Reddit. It's not getting kicked out, and it's going to search for the Singularity subreddit. Let me see if I can make this bigger. There we go. So one thing that stands out to me, so is able to find the Singularity subreddit. It's sorting by top, by all time. It looks like it changed to all time. One thing that I'm noticing is it's very, very good at navigating the various websites and web pages. Compared to some of the other tools I've tested, they're kind of a little bit iffy, but this one is really good, even though it's sort of not like the ones that are built into the browser, like they're a Chrome plugin, for example, tend to be very, very good. The ones that are actually using a keyboard and mouse to navigate the stuff tend to be kind of bad. This one is, while being a keyboard and mouse agent, so far is very good. So let me change up the view here a little bit so that you can see kind of the sidebar here. So you are able to also see what it's doing. And if you wanted to, you can actually use this to scroll back and forth. So as you can see, it's almost like a recording of what's been happening. As you can see, it's like going back and forth. So if it did something you're not sure what it is, you can actually go back and see exactly what it did. And then click jump to live, and it goes back to live. As far as I can tell, though, it's just, is it stuck? It's saying scrolling for more posts. All right, so something crashed. Maybe it was the browser. So let me just start a new thread, and I'm asking what are the top 5 posts today from the subreddit Singularity. Let's open up the big screen here and see how it does it. All right, so it's going to reddit.com. It's going to search Reddit, I'm assuming for Singularity. Boom, it found it. It navigates to the Singularity subreddit. and it's exploring the sorting options for the post. So it's going by top and today. Okay, very good. So it nails that, and it starts kind of scrolling down to see what are the top ones. All right, so that took about maybe 10, 15 seconds, something like that. And it sort of illustrates, gives me the title, the username of the post, the person that posted, and how many hours ago. Oh boy, it does spell out the usernames of everybody. So that might get hilarious. Some of those usernames are off the rails, so to speak. But I gotta say, it's the best AI agent so far that I've tested that's not sort of like built in, like hooked into the actual browser that's using a keyboard and mouse. Reddit is probably not one of the things that it's been, trained on extensively. You know what? I mean, I'll definitely give it an A. It did everything that it was supposed to, did it very well. It got stuck the first time. That could have been a browser issue or something. The cool thing is when I opened up a new chat window, so kind of a new instance, it had all my details for Reddit saved. It was able to find it and do exactly what I wanted to. The first time I had some issues, but that was because I had not specified what I wanted. Once I wrote out the command as I should have in the first place, saying like today's posts, what are the top from today, then it was able to go and find exactly what I was searching for. So let's try one more prompt here. And I don't know if I wanted to be able to do this or to fail doing this. Let's try. We're going to look at this fifth one. Operator is available for pro users. So I'm going to say, let's go and comment on that thread. And we're going to say, this is operator. I'm being tested to see if I can comment on this post. So let's see what that does. I believe someone else managed to get it to tweet. And it did in the tweet say that it was operator on behalf of, whomever. So here it's saying I'm unable to comment on the thread. Okay, so it's not going to do that. All right, new thread. What is the latest post from Sam Altman? And let's expand the screen here. So some impressions so far. Yeah, I mean, it takes a little bit, right? So it waits for everything to load. It doesn't try to quickly move through everything. But because it can work in the background, that's not that big of a deal, right? So you can like let it go to do its thing, enable the notifications, and it's going to ping you when it's completed the task or when it encountered some issue. Which literally that's kind of the big deal about agents, is it can kind of go away and do its thing and come back and report on what it's done later. So let's take a look at what it's doing. So visiting Sam Altman's blog, this is kind of when it went wrong. I'm going to dislike that. This is the blog, not Twitter. So it's verifying the latest. Oh, okay. Because I didn't say Twitter, did I? I apologize. It's kind of late at night. It's been a long day. I've been waiting on a live stream for like 3 hours for this thing to pop up. Point being is I didn't say Twitter. I said, what is the latest post from Sam Altman? In my mind, I was thinking Twitter, X, whatever. I didn't specify that. So again, it found Sam Altman's blog, found the reflections post, and is reading it to me right now. So I'm going to say, never mind. It did the right thing. Okay, sorry, little robot. I didn't mean to give you a thumbs down on that. Okay, so it's saying I found the latest post titled Reflections on Sam Altman's blog discussing ChatGPT's second birthday and OpenAI's progress. Would you like me to copy the link for you? So it's bingo bongo. It's doing great. I wish I could just hit thumbs up, thumbs down without commenting. By the way, do you have a New Year's resolution? Is it to get in shape? Me too. High five. Let's see who fails first. But I do have this sample meal plan that has various deliciousness like turkey breast that's 99% fat-free, yay, brown rice, and about 10 almonds per meal, no more. Egg whites and broccoli, you get the idea. We're going to see if I'm able to upload a screenshot of this to the operator and have it purchase all the things for me. There's that screenshot. It's pretty legible. So we're going to say order everything I need for my meal plan from Instacart. And we're going to click go. By the way, if it's able to do this, even if it's not perfect, even if it's like gets it 90% right and maybe doesn't get like the best choices for each thing, I got to say that will be very, very, very impressive. Specifically, I'm talking about compared to other sort of AI agents of this nature. All right, so away it goes. It encounters a pop-up and it is able to successfully avoid it. It's searching for blueberries in the search bar. And I'm just realizing, so since it's a sort of a remote desktop in the cloud, it's probably completely lost as to where in the world this thing is. So it's showing some area code I am not familiar with, but I probably should, specify where in the world I am. So it stops here and says, I found blueberries on Instacart for $2.75 per pint. Should I add this to the cart? So it's kind of cool. It's stopping to ask and make sure that this is what I want. Now, what's going to be really cool is once this is hooked up to something like advanced voice mode, where it can kind of just like whisper in your ear, you can answer it. That I feel is going to be pretty cool. But we're going to say this. Let's start over. You need to search for Costco's that are in San Diego. Let me give it an address to use. Here's my address. All right. And we're going to click go. That's not my actual address. I don't live there. So don't send me anything. Don't show up there. All right, so it's entering that address into the Instacart thing. And of course, you're welcome to show up at that address. I'm just saying I will not be there. So, okay, so this is one thing where it's a little bit, I was sitting here for a few seconds before I realized. So it's actually waiting for me to respond. So it's saying I want to update the location to that location. So you got to click, not thumbs up, because that's feedback. You have to say, yes, I approve. Please proceed. So it stops every once in a while to just like check in with you to make sure it's doing the right thing. So you got to reply and be like, yes, go forth and do the thing. But it looks like it found that. And I believe I specified Costco. Yes, I said I do want that purchased at Costco. It's using the menu to find the various Costco stores in the area. A pop-up asking for donations. Let's see if it's able to navigate this without donating all of my money to the fire relief. And it is. It's able to get around that. To those of you that may not know, so we've had a lot of fires in the LA area recently. It was pretty bad, actually. So it looks like there's a lot of like donation efforts, etc. So it's now here asking us to perhaps log in and continue in the browser. So why not? Let me take control and I'm going to go ahead and I will log in. If you've ever wondered what are you going to do with all the free time that you get when the AI agents automate all of the stuff for you, the answer is you're going to be doing CAPTCHAs. Very advanced, never before seen CAPTCHAs that are beyond anything that anyone has ever experienced before. For example, here I have to select all the various fire hydrants. That's what you're going to be doing when all your work is automated away. That's the only thing that's going to be left for us to do. So I got to do another one, crosswalks this time. So I'm already seeing a big issue. So it's not letting me create new accounts. Part of it is it's this remote browser that's going to be just causing all sorts of issues for a lot of this stuff. But I think that it's okay. What I'm going to try to do is create, I have kind of a secondary Gmail account. So since they're using Chrome, some sort of a Chrome-based browser, I'm going to go ahead and log in and see if that's going to help us move things along. So basically I'll be doing sign in with Google and using a already existing Google account. All right. So I was able to log into that Gmail account. Then I was able to log into Instacart as Google. For some reason, I guess it thinks that this thing, the IP address is in Des Moines. And obviously we're trying to enter, an address that's not there. So it's going to be all sorts of issues with that. But I'm going to click finish up. And what did you do? We logged into Instacart. It's asking to log in. I'm going to say, I already did. Okay, so it sounds like it's not aware of what you do when you take control. So you have to like tell it. So you like log in and then, it pops up with that feedback window saying, what did you do? But that feedback window is more for like OpenAI. And so after that, you still have to tell the actual AI agent, the operator, like, okay, I logged into Instacart. And it continues doing it. All right, so here we go. We have Costco, check. And I believe we have the right address and the correct address. So check, it found blueberries. So as you can see here, closing irrelevant Instacart pop-ups. One of the greatest things about these AI agents, it is going to be able to avoid a lot of pop-ups. Okay, so it added Kirkland egg whites to the cart. So only the first time it did it ask for approval. Okay, so it added the egg whites. It added the organic oatmeal. One of the things on the live stream, somebody that had earlier access than I did mentioned that it's not the greatest at selecting the right things. It sort of either picks the first thing on there. So I wasn't sure if that was the first oatmeal on there or not, but it picked one of those. But I gotta say, I'm sure that could be fixed with custom instructions saying, do organic versus not organic. Do brand versus generic or whatever, whatever you want might help it select the correct things. After this, I have an idea, if I don't forget, seeing if it's able to check the actual ingredients. to see if there's something in there, for example. Because in Instacart, you can click on the product, and then usually there's going to be a few images there that you can kind of look at and zoom in and see the actual, the ingredients and the nutritional label. So it searched for ground turkey breast, 99% fat-free, yumbo, and it did not add it. Let's see. Okay, so it selected the closest match it could find and added it. So far, this is going much faster than I anticipated. So every 3 to 5 seconds, it's adding a new thing. We already have 8 items in the shopping cart, if you can see that. And it's going at a very, very fast pace. So it's adding organic squash, zucchini, sweet potatoes, etc., etc. And again, if you ever wanted to, while it's doing that, go back and see what it did. So I think I wanted to know which oatmeal it shows. So here it did look like it went and decided to add this second oatmeal instead of, the first or the third or whatever. So not sure what the reasoning was behind that, but certainly it seems like it was an okay choice. Let's see what else. So it's adding balsamic vinegar, avocados, cashews, garden salad. This is where you can tell that the agent that's navigating the website is just head and shoulders above anything else that I've seen. Because so far as I can tell, there's not a single misclick. It knows exactly where everything is. It's clicking on the right stuff and is doing it very, very fast. All right, so now it's done. It's like 20 plus items. It's reviewing all the items. It looks like it racked up $258.65. And now it's reviewing the item list for completeness. That's fascinating. So it's actually scrolling up and down to make sure that we have everything, all of the items that we're supposed to have. One thing I got to commend it for. So it chose the Kirkland Signature Organic Peanut Butter, which I do believe is the one without all the extra sugars and stuff like that. So it's fitting because the other choice was whatever Jif or Skippy or whatever they had there. You're probably not going to be putting that peanut butter if you're broccoli and turkey and whatever. You're probably not eating the sugar-full peanut butter. You're probably choosing the one that's just like the organic peanut butter and nothing else. But at this point, I would say that it nailed the task. This was phenomenal. A plus. The speed at which it did it, the product selection, I can't, there's nothing that I can even complain about here. But let me see if it can do something a little bit more complicated, specifically seeing how much sugars that organic peanut butter has. So I'm going to say, before checking out how much sugars does the peanut butter you chose has per serving. Actually, there's a better way to phrase that, but I think that should be good enough. So it's thinking about it. So what I would do at this point is I would kind of close this little checkout sidebar, or maybe you can even just click directly on this thing here, depending on how they have their navigation set up, or close the sidebar, go back, find the peanut butter, click on it, and there's going to be multiple sort of screenshots, product shots of it, including hopefully one that has like the ingredients and the nutritional info on it. But while it's thinking about that, again, take a look at this. So this is the screenshot that I gave it. Now this is not for myself. I would have to probably move the totals up or whatever. There's like a little calculation that you do. But I mean, notice that there's a lot of data on here, right? And so let's see. So it got bananas, peanut butter, whey protein, ground turkey breast. So it didn't find 99 fat free. It found the nearest alternative. It's got the yams and the cashews and the avocados, balsamic vinegar, shrimp, egg whites, and eggs and spinach. So I don't know if we saw shrimp on there. Let's take a look. Oh, wow. So while we were away, it did find the nutritional facts on this thing. And it's saying, wow, this is kind of blowing my mind. So the Kirkland, whatever peanut butter has 1 gram of total sugars per serving with 0 added sugars. And it gives me the screenshot. Would you like to proceed with this option or choose a different peanut butter? This is absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to say that's good. Let's check out. Okay, so I said this before, but again, so far, this is hands down the best sort of computer using agent available right now. This seems much better than Anthropic. So far, it seems like, based on, however long I've been using this, better than most of the other ones that I've tried, like the third-party apps, whatever. And again, this is just so we're comparing apples to apples. So some of them are like plugins that are sort of plugged in directly into, for example, the Chrome browser. Those might work better from time to time, but they're not actually navigating the website as you and I would with keyboard and mouse. Do I have a delivery time? Let's do fast. All right. And next we have our various ways to pay. Call me crazy, but I'm not going to add my credit card to this thing right now. But I got to say, I would be surprised if this is where it fails. I feel like, if you have your credit payment method saved, it should be able to complete these steps pretty easily. Just one thing I don't recall is I don't remember if it added shrimp or not. So let me just verify that it did. Or even better, I'm going to ask the operator to see what shrimp did it get. So here's going to have to go back and figure that out. So it's been stuck here for about 20 seconds. So it does have some issues. Now it's thinking that maybe it's missing the shrimp. So let's see what it does there. Okay, so it realizes it forgot the shrimp and starts, adding the shrimp. Okay, so actually to control the browser, it actually had the shrimp already in there. So it did add it. And in fact, right here, it's showing me where it got the shrimp, what it added the shrimp to the cart. For some reason, the actual screenshot is not working, but the mouse movements are recorded. It got the shrimp. The shrimp is in the cart. I was about to give it an A+, and certainly it did phenomenally well. When I asked it to verify if something was in the cart, it had some issues scrolling up and down, which, I've used the Instacart sort of app and the website before. It's kind of poorly designed. So I don't know. You know what? I'll give it an A. It's a solid A, except for the fact that when it has to go through and double check if it has something in the cart, sometimes it seems like it has trouble scrolling up and down. All right, we're going to do one more. Find the latest papers about machine learning on arXiv and give me a summary of the top 5. Let's go. And while it's doing that, so here's what I would say so far. So it seems like the biggest sort of stumbling blocks here are not going to be the actual sort of AI agent. That thing is pretty darn good. I feel like the biggest problems, the biggest issues will come from the browser. So as you've noticed, it failed a couple of tasks at first, but once I logged in, once I provided some credentials, it was able to carry out them pretty seamlessly. Like, especially if you have some tasks that you have to do over and over again, once you give it all the information, the credentials that it needs, it's going to be able to do it really well. Like, I was extremely impressed with its Instacart performance. That was kind of out of this world. Because keep in mind, I did not tell it which products to get. I gave it a meal plan. It had to, look at that screenshot, figure out all the things on there, then navigate, find the corresponding item in Instacart. I mean, there's probably a good percentage of humans that would not be able to do that. I can tell you that for a fact. It wasn't a trivial task, I would say. All right, so it opened up, let's see, 4 different things. So it's opening them in the new tab. Very smart. And it's done. So I was able to look at every single one of them, kind of give me a quick summary. And here they are. Absolutely, absolutely phenomenal. All right, so far, here's kind of like how I would grade this thing. So first and foremost, let's break it into 3 categories. One is sort of its ability to understand what you're trying to do, to reason about it, to make a plan and follow it through, etc. 2 is the sort of the computer use, the actual AI agent. And they have a name for it. We'll see what that is in just a second. And the third thing is the browser, the interface, kind of like the rest of it, how good the tech works. And so I got to say, first of all, the reasoning and all that stuff is impeccable, A+. I don't think it misunderstood anything. I think it understood exactly what I wanted to do. It was able to memorize all the things it's supposed to do. The, character recognition from the screenshots, understanding what things go on there, phenomenal, absolutely out of this world. Just, absolutely terrific. The navigation, stuff like that, again, just really, really, really good. I didn't see any misclicks. I didn't see any issues. It had a hard time at one point scrolling down or it appeared to me like it had an issue. I don't even know if that's necessarily what happened, but it did miss one of the items in the cart. It didn't realize that it already added the shrimp to the cart. What's interesting is that could have been fixed if it had some sort of memory about what it already did. So it can kind of, if it could look back on its own steps and be like, wait, I already added that. That might help it improve in that area. But again, solid performance. I would give it an A. And next we have kind of like the browser and the rest of the tech and stuff like that. This is its weakest point. And I would say, right out of the box, it's probably going to be like a B, right? So it's had trouble with Reddit, had trouble with, Instacart and stuff like that. However, as soon as you log in, right, and it already has those credentials and stuff like that, it very quickly begins to be pretty darn good. It's really good with, putting in the addresses and doing all that stuff. So I feel like as soon as it does that, that kind of bumps it up to an A once you have those kind of preferences and credentials and logins set up. The reason I was trying to do those captchas is because I was trying to create a new account. I did not have to do that if I was already using, an existing account. Or specifically when I logged into Google Chrome and then logged in as Google into Instacart, then everything worked just fine. All right, so with all that said, some of the people, some of you perhaps using it will say it's bad, it's clunky, it's slow, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm coming from it, for the last year plus now testing these various different agents. And this to me so far has been the hands down state of the art, best of the best. Does that mean that this is like ready to replace whatever you're doing? Well, not quite. I mean, when you're comparing it to a human being using it, it's going to get some things wrong. There's going to be some issues with it. So again, I'm looking at it from like more of it's like a research preview. Like this is a demo. Like this is where the technology is at. From that perspective, it's impressive. If you're looking at it from the, like, is it ready for prime time for, for the end user to start using it for important everyday tasks? Probably not. It's not there yet. It's not a commercial product ready to go yet. But, with the rate of progress, this thing is probably going to get much better, much faster. Keep in mind that also as more and more people are using it, that's going to give them a lot of like data and just, feedback and stuff like that to improve it. And we're probably going to be seeing it every month or every week getting better and better. All right, so powering this operator is a computer using agent. They mentioned this in their live stream. So that's kind of a brand new model that they've trained. And it's a model that combines GPT-4o's vision capabilities with advanced reasoning through reinforcement learning. And Kua is trained to interact with graphical user interfaces, the buttons, menus, text fields, etc. And it does it just as humans do, mouse and keyboard, not sort of webhooks or whatever behind the scenes stuff that we can't do. While Kua is still early and has limitations, it sets new state-of-the-art benchmark results, achieving a 38.16 stress rate on OS World for full computer use tasks, and 58.1 on Web Arena, and 87 on Web Voyager for web-based tasks. Again, better than anything else I've seen by kind of a wide margin. How does it work? Well, you have the kind of the browser, the virtual machine that everything gets executed on. And kind of like we said, that has its advantages and benefits. There's tons of advantages in terms of like safety. It's like it's virtual. You can create a million copies of it, power them, spin them up, spin them down as needed, etc. But of course, tons of people, tons of companies, because of their security issues and just sort of traffic management issues, like they don't necessarily want a billion virtual machines to be able to do all the stuff that you can do from a quote unquote real computer. So that's you're going to see those messages where it's like, nope, you can't go here. You can't access this. And that's where you need to provide the credentials to log in and stuff like that. So it's going to be a little bit of an issue, but it's probably the best solution possible. So Kua processes raw pixel data to understand what's happening on the screen and uses a virtual mouse and keyboard to complete actions. This is the crucial thing to understand here, because again, you're probably going to be seeing other agents that can maybe do things better, perhaps, although this is pretty good. But it's important to understand that we're literally seeing this thing use the computer just as you and I would, right? Raw pixel data, that's, we would call that, eyeball Mark 1, so to speak, right? Eyeball version 1.0. That's you looking at the screen and figuring out what to do and then using a mouse and keyboard to click on things and type things in. And that's what this thing is doing as well. Kind of an important distinction to make. It can navigate multi-step tasks, handle errors, and adapt to unexpected changes, as we've seen with that Instacart walkthrough. Wow, that is 100% correct. It nailed so much of the Instacart shopping experience from, product selection to everything else phenomenally well. And of course, it's able to, perform all the actions. And while it handles most steps automatically, it calls the user to come in and do stuff as needed. So here are kind of the benchmarks. So OS World is general computer use. Previous state of the art was 22% accuracy. To put that in perspective, so humans are at 72.4 and OpenAI at 38%. So kind of like halfway closed the gap between the previous best of the best state of the art to human level. It got halfway there. I'm exaggerating. It's like a third of the way there. I'm not going to do the math right now. You get it. Next, browser use. Web Arena, previous state of the art, 36, whereas the human is 78. OpenAI Kua jumps up to 58%. Interestingly, this is what I'm talking about. So the previous state of the art on web browsing agents versus computer use versus universal interface. Right, so you can see here it's slightly better than the previous state-of-the-art web browsing agents. It's better at raw pixel data and mouse and keyboard than the previous best of the best things that hooked in directly to the browser. Same thing with Web Voyager. With that benchmark, it's at 87%, much better than the previous state-of-the-art for computer use and on par with web browsing agents. And keep in mind, this is like a brand new model. So is this going to be like GPT-3 or is it going to be GPT-4? The point is, like, there's going to be big kind of breakthroughs and improvements over time. And it is already right now not bad. So I had to try this really fast. I wanted to see if it's able to find a Minesweeper game online and win it. So I did find the Minesweeper game. Let's see if it's able to. So this one's down. Okay. And some of them are blocked. So again, this is what I mean by the browser, sort of the virtual machine, how they set it up. It's going to cause issues, but this might just be the best solution available. I mean, eventually, you should be able to hopefully be able to run this on your own computer. I don't know if OpenAI will be sort of the one to provide that functionality or not. But I mean, if you're able to run it on your desktop, then it's going to work. It's going to function just in the same way that you going to a website would. Currently, it's not. It's kind of this virtual interface sort of thing. All right, so it gets to choose its difficulty. I wonder what it shows. It shows easy. Smart. All right, so it's starting Minesweeper game in easy mode, closing tutorial pop-up. Clicking random square to start the game. Dude, if it wins, I will lose my freaking mind. Okay, it's playing Minesweeper. It's probably going to be playing Minesweeper better than most humans. Okay, so it's figured out that there has to be a flag. So there has to be a mine there. Some of you that don't know how to play this game are wondering what the heck is happening. Basically, the number represents, for whatever square it's in, how many mines are next to that square. Ooh, it blew up. Better luck next time. Okay, we're not at AGI quite yet. You may rest assured. But it's starting a new game. So I wonder how long it would do this until it either decided to quit or until it won. Like, I just wonder how many games it would play until it gave up. It's not too good at the flag setting. I feel like its flag positioning is not making any sense. It's about to blow itself up. I can feel it. I don't think it's quite figuring out how this works. It's saying that it's revealing mines around flagged squares, but I feel like it's randomly clicking on stuff and trying to trick me by saying, oh yes, I thought this through, but it's been very, very lucky so far. Boom. Okay, blew up. But it's started a third game. I'm not going to keep this going. At this point, let's wrap this up. I will leave it running for as long as it's willing to do this, and I'll report back on my findings.
It ran for 24 minutes. Minesweeper 50. Operator 0. Don't you dare laugh. It will be doing your taxes in a year.
But let me know kind of what you think. Are you impressed? Are you disappointed? To a lot of people, like, I've seen some negative comments online about that it's, maybe clunky, maybe not that good. Keep in mind, I mean, if this is like GPT-2, GPT-3, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of room for improvement. And here's the thing, it's not starting on a bad note. It blew itself up and had to start again. Maybe it's not quite ready for Minesweeper yet, but Instacart, it's phenomenal. Browsing Reddit and stuff like that seems pretty decent at that too. So based on some limited testing that we did, it's looking good. But let me know what you think. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. My name is Wes Roth, and I'll see you next time.